Though 13 on Your Side is once again working to stop the summer slide, and we're yet again hosting our reading nights at local parks, and here to join us all to tell us all about it is 13 on Your Side's Catherine Barrett.
The one
Good
and
morning,
only
Catherine
Barrett. I feel
her.
like we've got like a legend sitting
I
here.
know.
Oh
I
my
know.
gosh.
I'm nervous to do the interview because
Oh
she's
my
just
gosh.
We need to reverse roles here.
not worthy. Not worthy. I know. So you've been doing the summer slide reading events for a very long time. Talk to us about it. What is the summer slide? Why is it important that we're doing this?
You know, actually, we started this 13 Reads campaign. It was a literacy campaign, and it was because Michigan was instituting the third grade reading law, where if children were not at grade level by the third grade, we were told, you know, that they were going to have to repeat.
Yeah.
And once the law went into so we started this literacy campaign. We knew that parents needed to know about it, and we needed to get books into the hands of children. And when the law went into effect, we found out it was a little bit different. There were a lot of exceptions, and it wasn't quite as terrifying as we thought. And what's wrong with wanting a child to be at grade level in the third grade, right? So anyway, we shifted our focus because in all of my research, I was reading about summer slide and how important reading during the summer is. So we started that several years ago, and we've been going to various parks in Grand Rapids. And this summer, we're at 2 parks only.
Okay.
Excuse me, Garfield Park. That program is 16 years old. Every Tuesday night of the summer, and they start tomorrow night at Garfield Park. And then Lincoln Park starts on the 10th, the following Tuesday.
Okay.
And we're saying, I got a frog in my throat. We're saying Tuesday night is reading night in Grand Rapids.
Okay.
And yes, because you can go to those parks. We're giving away free books. Look at the tables full of books of every age level and genre. Families come out. We do story time, sit in the grass. Juliet will be reading other folks from here. Maybe one of you guys.
Yeah, I was just telling you, I need to make it out to one of those.
Oh, you would love it.
Yeah.
It's so grassroots and precious and important. And then there's ice cream treats or frozen, you know, this and that.
See, that's how you're going to get me in there.
Okay, well, I'll give you 2
Okay,
if you'll
perfect.
come,
If I come.
Tanner.
Well, hey, so we've got some dates on there, and
Yeah.
we usually do broadcast live at some of these events too. So can you talk about that, just how great it is that we get to bring this access to books to local kids here?
Yeah, it is pretty neat. And I have to say, Storytime in the Park and Read GR, they are the groups that put these events on. We come alongside them to help promote and get families there. So, but it is a privilege to be there. We take our truck and we set up little straw mats in the grass, and we do story times. And did you know that having a story read to a child is as important as reading themselves? Hearing the language, making predictions about where the story is going, and the whole thing, it's just as important to be read to. So when that little pumpkin comes out, she needs a book in her hands at birth.
Absolutely. I know. We've already been reading to her every night, so
do you really?
We'll keep
That's
it going.
so sweet.
Yeah, it's a good little way to talk to her, right?
Yeah.
But what is the importance, Catherine, of reading in the summer? I mean, it is one of those things that it's summer, let them have fun.
Yes.
But there's a lot that goes into it.
Yeah, it's hard to do that. You know, they come home on that last day and pitch
they're
the
like, "We're done
backpack
with
in the
school."
closet and say, wahoo, freedom, sort of freedom. But books can be fun too, and parents need to make it fun. There's lots of things they can do to make the reading fun, but the importance is this. There's real research around this, that during the summertime, learning is lost if they do not continue reading. And when you suffer in reading, you suffer in other subjects as well. So this puts a child at tremendous risk. So much research there is that they have called this the summer slide, as you guys have said. And kids come back in the fall, and some of them can be lose their whole last school year of learning. Think of the job of the teachers to bring them back up before they could dive in on the new material, lest they leave those kids behind, and that often happens. But they also have testing. You know, they need to get those kids ready to be tested so they can continue learning and growing. So this is a real problem for educators, for children. And what we know about literacy and the importance of reading is that a child this is cumulative, these losses. So if they go this summer and they don't read, and then next summer and next summer, if it's not a part of this, it builds up.
Yeah.
And so they have got to address it in the household with the families, and that's what these events are designed to do. We know they're less likely to, if they have literacy challenges, less likely to graduate high school and more likely to end up in prison. There's statistics around that as well. So we just really, as a community, need to embrace this as an opportunity to do important work.
So something that you mentioned is, not only reading, but also getting read to and predicting where the story is. I imagine that plays into critical thinking skills.
Of course, yes.
Of course there. So it's great that we're doing these events, right, out at the park. But, beyond that, what can families do at home to kind of help continue that learning there during the summer?
Yeah, it's a challenge because what we know is that there are so-called book deserts. These are households in which there's not a book to be had, or very few. Let's say a couple of books, the child has read them again and again. We need to put new material, and it has to be material they choose. A lot of times parents say, "Oh, honey, you already have a book like that." "Yep, and I like it, Mom. I want that book."
Right.
If a child selects their own material, they're more likely to finish it. They relate to characters. They're going to remember it. It's a different experience when the child picks the book. So let the kids pick. Again, they do that at these park events. What did you ask me?
You kind of got there. What can families do to
families.
make sure?
Yes. Okay, so get books in the household first and foremost, but do some fun things. Go to the zoo, read the placards. There's so much reading.
Yeah.
Everywhere we go, there's reading. This is why we need to know how to read. But read the street signs. Go on a walk and read the signs together. There's just so many things. They're little, we have a ton of events on our website that parents can go and get involved in. There's a Rough Readers program, rough as in rough, a dog.
Okay.
KDL branches where the children can go and read to a dog. A dog will never judge you if you don't pronounce the word right, right?
Very true.
And so, and there's this wonderful, the kids just sit down with the dogs and they read them books and it's adorable. So there's so many, our libraries are a treasure and a resource. And we have the list of every library in our whole viewing area on our website where parents can go and learn about the summer programming there.
Yeah, lots of information on our website too, 13onyourside.com. I was actually looking at it this morning to prepare for this interview.
Yeah, and some of those summer programs through the libraries, that's where people can get a little bit easier access to books, right? If they can't go to Target or the bookstore and buy one off the shelves, there is a lot of ways to get them for free or reduced pricing.
Yes, and the librarians in the library are experts. They know how to guide kids, and help them find that just right book for them. And libraries are they're just so important in our community. And so yes, the library is the first place to go. They're free.
Yeah.
You get a library card. It's your ticket to excitement for the summer, right? Your passport to trips and travels without ever leaving home when you read a book. So it's really important. And they have books on tape. They have all kinds of interactive reading opportunities. And again, those count too. Books on tape.
Yeah.
If you're going on vacation, go to the library, find a great one that everybody can agree on, and listen to a book on tape while you're driving to your destination.
I love that. There are so many different ways that you can get reading. And I saw the other day a mom saying, they make their kid read the instructions on the back of a cake box.
Baking.
Yes.
Yes.
Baking. And that's a good way to get them to be reading and be out there. So people do attend the event that's in the park. What all can they expect?
Oh my gosh, they're so great. Okay, so they're from 6:30 to 8 p.m. Tuesday nights. Lincoln and Garfield Park. Garfield starts tonight, Lincoln next Tuesday night. I mean, not tonight, tomorrow night.
Yep.
Tomorrow's Tuesday. And then what they can expect is they can sit in the grass and have stories read to them. And Men of Color Read is going to be there reading. Our folks from On Air and other people are going to be reading. And community leaders, the superintendent of schools goes. There's just so many really neat opportunities to have people modeling reading. This is the other thing. Parents, model for your kids. Don't just give them a book and expect them to do all the work. Model it for your children. They're more likely to do it if you show that it's important. But I digress. There's ice cream treats. There's, of course, the free books and browsing tables where you can find stuff. There are crafts and games every week. There are going to be theme nights at Lincoln Park. So it's going to be really fun.
Yeah, what do you hear from the families that get out here to go to these events? I mean, obviously they must appreciate it, but I mean, they have to be grateful that this is something that they could participate in.
Yes, they're so grateful. And they do, summer, we think it goes by in a second.
Yeah.
Feels like it is like a blink of an eye situation.
Yeah. But listen, Garfield Park goes for 13 weeks, and 13 books is, well, the experts say, educators say, read 5 to 6 books in the summer, and you could maintain. If you read up to 13, you could increase your literacy levels. So you go into the next grade ahead of the game. This is how important it is. So, Yep, that's super important
Yeah.
to get that many books, and you can build your home library. And like I said, there's books of every sort. There's Spanish language books on the tables. It's just great.
It also keeps like actual physical copies of books in kids' hands too, because so often we're on the iPad, so often we're on like the Kindle or the computer. This is actually like, you know, you get to open up that tangible book.
Yeah, and when I just think about that 13 books, Catherine, and I think about going into the classroom and being a step ahead, the confidence that that's going to give your child going into that next school year, even if it's maybe algebra that they don't exceed in, they can feel really strong in one area. That's a good thing.
It's good that you mentioned that, because they talk about the confidence that comes from being a secure reader and what that does for them academically in all their subject material, and so it grows confident kids, and that's another important aspect to literacy.
Yeah.
All right,
absolutely.
so it starts tomorrow. Give us the rundown just really quick, as if people are just joining us.
6:30 to 8 p.m. Garfield Park in Grand Rapids, Tuesday, tomorrow, the 3rd of June. And then Lincoln Park kicks in on June 10th, same time frame, 6:30 to 8 p.m. And we will be there on both of those nights and some other nights throughout the summer, just to remind people about this terrific opportunity to get kids reading this summer and stave off that summer slide.
Yeah, absolutely. What do you get out of it? You've got to have fun at these events,
Can you
right?
tell I'm passionate?
I know,
about
like you're like just
Listen,
really into
I'm
it.
a book girl. You talk about like Nooks and electronic readers, e-readers, and all that stuff. I like to hold the book. I fall asleep when the book hits me in the face, right? And so I love this. I grew up going to the bookmobile, and I would ride my bike.
Cool.
It was Wednesdays. I remember it distinctly. What it smelled like, how it felt to step on board, what the sound of the little card reader was. You know, like I read all the time, so this would not have been a challenge for me. But I want other children to have that. Like all those characters in the books you read as a child, they're part of your life, right? And so I'm passionate about it, and I think kids deserve this from our community. And we as a community must insist that this exists for these kids.
Yeah,
I
and
agree.
you guys are carrying that work very well and continuing that mission. And of course, we'll be there along for the ride, broadcasting some of those events, of course, on those Tuesdays. You can find those list of dates on our website, 13onyourside.com, as well as a list of resources also listed in that article.
Lots of resources so that folks can tap into everything that exists in their community to help them with this job.
All right.
Catherine, thank you
Yes.
so much.
Oh my gosh,
You've
thank
been
you
doing
guys.
this for years here, and it would not go on every single summer, at least a 13's commitment without you. So thank you so much.
Yeah, Catherine Barron, of course, a lady who needs zero introduction.
Oh my
here at our
gosh, right?
station.
Moving on, moving on.
In true fashion with these events, we always get like a nice, warm, humid,
Yeah,
hot
there you go.
day.
Yeah,
There
it's
you
gonna
go.
be warm,
And
isn't
we
it?
got
It's gonna be
another
really
hot
nice.
one tomorrow.